Hi, this video is being recorded with permission from HarperCollins Publishing Company. I'm Aaren from the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library, and today I would like to talk to you about mummies. And I'm going to be reading Mummies Made in Egypt, which is written and illustrated by Aliki. Do you know what mummies are and how they're made? They're very mysterious, and if you've ever been interested in ancient Egypt or the Sphinx or the pyramids of Giza, they are also one of the 7 wonders of the world. I find all of ancient Egypt and everything about it to be very fascinating. So here I am reading to you Mummies Made in Egypt. Ancient Egypt was a long, narrow country, divided in half by the Nile River. The land beyond was desert. There the ancient Egyptians buried their dead. Egyptians believed that after they died, a new life began. They would live in their tombs as they lived on earth. In order for a person to live forever, they had to be preserved or mummified. A mummy is a corpse that has been dried out so it will not decay. The corpse was buried in the ground. The hot, dry sand of Egypt dried out the body. But as time went on, burials became more elaborate. People had to learn how to embalm or mummify their dead. The mummies they made remained preserved for thousands of years. Mummification was a long, complicated, and expensive process. It took 70 days for embalmers to prepare a body. Embalmers first took out the organs. Small bundles of natron wrapped in linen were stuffed inside the body. The outside was covered with natron too. The chemical dried out the body. After 40 days, the dried, shrunken body was sponged clean and brushed with oils, ointments, spices, and resin. The mummy was adorned with jewels of gold and precious stones. Then the body was carefully bound with long, narrow strips of linen. Fingers, toes, arms, and legs were wrapped individually. Every few layers were glued together with resin. The bound head was covered with a portrait mask. Then the whole package was wrapped in a shroud and given a last coat of resin. The mummy was finished. They made the coffin or a nest of coffins like these for the mummy. The coffins were painted inside and out with gods, goddesses, and magic spells of protection. A splendid stone sarcophagus or stone box was made to hold the coffin, and the walls of the royal tomb were carved and painted with scenes from Egyptian life. A long, solemn funeral procession took the mummy to the tomb. As years went by, tombs became bigger, stronger, and more elaborate. Pharaohs or kings had pyramids built for themselves. Pyramids were huge stone monuments. They were magnificently carved and painted. When the funeral procession came to rest at the tomb, the mummy was put into the sarcophagus, which was covered with a heavy stone lid. The entrance to the tomb was sealed up with a wall of stone slabs. At last, the mummy was in its eternal resting place. I hope you enjoyed my reading of this amazing book, one of my favorite books of all time. We have a lot of other resources that you can find in our digital library. If you go to Hoopla, you'll find so many good ebooks there that are about mummies. There's funny chapter books. And you can find in Tumblebook Library resource, we have the most amazing National Geographic videos, including mummies, and Explore Access video too, where you'll find a video even at the Met Museum about mummies. So let's get on to our craft. We're going to make mummies together. So I'll show you what you're going to need. Here I am now at my crafting table. So I will show you now what we're going to be making. I have a link for you, first off, to find these templates. It's a top and bottom that you're going to color and cut to make your own coffin. This coffin is what would have the mummy inside and be placed inside the sarcophagus. And it opens. And inside is a mummy that we are going to make together. So you can print off the template for this and color it however you'd like. It tells you kind of exactly where to cut or to fold along the lines, and then you can color it and tape it together however you would like. I happen to make mine pretty colorful. I think I used every single color I have in my cup of markers. So this mummy will fit inside, and I'll show you how we're going to make it and what exactly you're going to need. It also kind of bends like this so that I can have him sit down if I want to. So it's a lot of fun. It takes some time, so I'm going to show you the basics. You're going to need pipe cleaners and paper towels. You're going to need some scissors and glue sticks. And then it helps if you have a cotton ball, which is going to be part of the mummy's head when we get started. Okay, so the basics are to have 3 pipe cleaners, and you're going to basically just start by bending them in half, just to kind of get you started. So bend those in half, like that. Bend this one in half. This last one, you can kind of pull it down a little bit because this is going to turn into a little bit of a circle for the head. So this one piece, you're going to take the top part of it and bend it down a little bit. Just kind of like that. And you can tell, hopefully, that this is going to be the top half of the mummy. And then you're going to take this piece and create the legs. So we can put the legs through like that, starting to kind of look a little bit like a mummy already. And these legs are a little bit too long, so I'm going to go ahead and fold them up in half. That. Fold this other leg up like that. So you've got the body and the 2 legs. It almost looks like he's ready to go walking. And then this piece is going to be the arms. So what you're trying to do is make the arms however long or short you want them to be. I kind of take them and wrap them around in order to shorten them. And then that's going to actually start holding this middle part of the body together. So just kind of wrap it around, but then pull it back up, kind of create the little shoulders, just however you'd like. So you've got the middle piece for the body, the legs, and then the arms. I like putting the cotton ball in here so that as I start wrapping it with linen, it kind of puffs out. So here's what it's looking like now, and this is what it's going to look like when you've finished wrapping your mummy. And I'll show you how to do that next. So I took paper towels and cut them into long pieces. So I kind of cheated and already did that. But you can just tear strips off. And once you have these long pieces, I actually got different kinds of tape and like medical bandage tape, and it doesn't really work as well. So, and I've done a lot of experimenting too on what's going to be our pretend resin to hold it onto the body. I've used glue, I've used all sorts of things, and the glue stick is the best to get all of these pieces of our pretend linen onto the body and to keep them in place. So this is the part where I might fast forward a little bit because I'm going to have a long way to go to build up my mummy. But the idea is to just sort of keep wrapping it however you'd like. You can kind of wrap it down along one arm and then come on back around the other arm. And then what I do to get it to start staying and become a mummy is to use the glue stick. When I made my first mummy, it was quite messy because I didn't know how I wanted to do it. So I'm just gonna rub some glue stick on like this. Okay, so there's a little bit of glue so that when I finished with this piece, I'm just gonna stop it right there, and the glue does hold it in place really, really well. Okay, this is my last strip going on. I can see why it would take 70 days to finish a mummy. Wrapping and wrapping. Decided to name my mummy Murray the mummy. And maybe I'll make another one, and then I'll have a whole family. I hope you give it a try. Have lots of fun. Ooh, I think I'll do the eyes. I have googly eyes, but here we go. Let's see, this one. I can make 2 eyes with black marker. Just like that. Maybe a happy face. All right, have fun, and I'll see you next time.